Hello, everyone. How are you? Hope you're having an incredible day, and may peace be upon you. Welcome to the show. It Takes Courage with me, your host, Dr. Izdihar Jamil. And today I have a special guest with me whom I met, I believe, for the first time in 2023 at a mastermind event. And I have with me Dr. Jerry Bailey II, who is a chiropractor, acupuncturist, as well as a functional medicine doctor. And he is the co-founder for the Lakeside Holistic Health and Wellness Practice. And today we are going to be talking about the topic of align your body and elevate your life. So let's welcome my friend, Dr. Jerry, to the show. Hi, Jerry. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Iz. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, and thank you for being on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I'm humbled and honored to be on here with you and to hopefully and will help some of your guests get a better life.
Yeah, better luck is good as well. Better luck and better life if you want to consider it. All right, Jerry, let's go straight to the point here. So the first thing is, I know you do acupuncture, functional medicine, and chiropractic. How does this different elements of health treatments can impact your whole body care and your whole overall wellness?
Yeah, they all three work in conjunction to really get to the root of what's going on with you and what's going on with your health. And that's really key, because most times when people see their physician, they're just given a drug and see you later, see you in 4 months, see you in 6 months, see you in a year. Whereas in working with us, and what we do is figuring out what that root cause is, where the issues you have that are going wrong. We figure out where those are and then build your body back up, aligning it to elevate your health.
Absolutely. And it's not just, when you go to the doctors, right? So oftentimes you pigeonhole into 5-minute slots, and they just ask a couple of questions, mostly on the symptoms, but foregoing the 80-90% of your lifestyle, then and then kind of prescribe you, antibiotics or this kind of nasal spray. I've had one of the hockey moms, my son Oprah, he plays ice hockey. So one of his friend had like a allergy situation, right? Oh my God, Jerry. She was like, this kid has to go to the doctors every week for 8 sessions. And every time he has to take like 20 shots, 8 shots, like for his allergy. And she's like, it's painful. He comes back with like everything bruised. And I'm like, what? That is like, I can't imagine the trauma for that. Yes, she's taking control. So I wanted to talk about working through this new concept of going through the root cause of your health. What do you mean? And what's 1 or 2 things that people who are listening can do for their own health and finding the root cause?
Yeah, really finding the root cause is finding a different type of practitioner. Because your medical provider does not have the time, as you noted, they're pigeonholed into this 5 to 7 minute visit based on insurance. So you got to find somebody who really does this type of medicine to figure out what it is. And finding that root cause is sitting down with you and taking the time to have a conversation to go, what's been going on? When did it start? What's been going on? What's been adding on to the symptoms from there? And really taking the time to get to know you as an individual and your health concerns. From that conversation, then we can dive deeper and go, okay, now what lab work do we have to look at to figure out your unique physiology? So then we can figure out from there how we need to correct it and fix those causes that are bringing that onto your body. So 2 really key things to do is, really understand, 1, what your body is doing. and write it down. Like, write down what you're experiencing, write down what you're feeling, how your body's responding, all the symptoms that you're having, and how it really affects you in your day-to-day life. 2, what are your goals? That is really, really key, is when we sit with somebody, and sitting with a good practitioner, is what are your goals and what do you want to have happen? Because how often do we sit with a physician and they don't even ask you, like, what your goals are? They literally just like, okay, here's the symptom, here's the drug, get out of my office. But sitting and understanding what's going on with you, number 1, and 2, what your goals are, we can take those, then align the care and the lab work to define what that problem is, and then build you up from there.
Okay, so you're kind of like having it from sitting down with you and figuring out how did it happen, when did it start, what are you feeling, how does it impact your health, how does it impact your sleep, how does it impact your food, like what you were saying, like kind of write things down. Oh, if I eat this, like if I eat dairy, I start to have this. Or if I eat spicy food, that means I can't sleep for the night because, the indigestion or whatever that is. Start noticing it, because the body is giving us a message, right, Jerry?
Yes, they're giving us a message. The body's telling us what it needs or doesn't want within there, and we have to learn to listen to it. Instead of suppressing it, like the young man you were saying with the allergies, instead of suppressing that immune response, why is it occurring? Like, what is going on there to cause it? Yeah, we can suppress stuff all day long, and medicine's done a wonderful job of doing that, but it's going to come out someplace else in their health. So we got to figure out and go deep of what is going on with you, and have that conversation and spend the time there to discover that.
Yeah, I mean, it makes so much sense, because it's like suppressing it. It's one way of working things out in the short term, but it's going to push through to other areas of his health because the root cause isn't being taken care of. Like my example, like Abrar, my son, he when he wakes up in the morning, he keeps on sneezing and sneezing and sneezing, right? And when I asked my pediatrician, he was like, "Oh yeah, that's normal." That isn't normal, Jerry, because there's a family of 5. If one person does that and 4 doesn't, how can that be normal?
Yeah.
And so trying to kind of like work through, I guess, like Jerry is like busting through the preconceived notion that people have about how that is normal, right?
Right. Yeah, when a doctor doesn't know, they're going to either say, well, we can't find anything wrong, so we don't know where to go. They're rarely going to say, I don't know, or they're going to say, oh, it's totally normal. This is normal. Like, menopause, perimenopause for women, or andropause, testosterone lowering in men. They're going to say, oh, this is part of the aging process. No, it's not. It doesn't need to be in there. We need to go, what is ideal function for somebody? And then really work on not just them of looking at lining their body and their health, of working on their diet, working on their exercise, working on eliminating things that are causing the problem, but then going, how is that unique physiology in that person? And what do we need to put for supplementation or medication in there to get that body to work the way it's supposed to? I can, just like you're saying with your son too, with the allergies there. I had a gentleman the other day come in to have a conversation, our first conversation, to go, is it something I can help with? What do you have going on? And do I think this is what you need? And he came in, he's had 15 years of bloating in his stomach. He looked like, I look pregnant. And he goes, the last doc I saw said, well, you're pregnant, and kind of smirked a little bit. And he's like, well, it's not funny. It's like, I feel pregnant even though I'm not. And he's just bloated. And he's seen 15 different doctors and had thousands upon thousands of tests done. Nobody can tell him what's going on with his digestion. And I says they've done the right test to rule out all the bad stuff, but they haven't done the right test to figure out why it's occurring. And that's a big difference from a functional medicine doc versus a medical doctor, is we're looking at why is it occurring and then how to correct it. So that circles back, like your son sneezing. Well, why is he sneezing? What's going on there? It could be his pillow. It could be, it could be dander in the air. It could be lots of different things. It could be mold in the air, but it's only affecting him. So it's very specific to him. It's not normal by any means.
Yeah, 100%. So, kind of like looking at that, and first of all, trusting your instinct. Or as a mother, I'm like, that is not normal, first of all. And like you say, it could be like, it could be his pillow, it could be this, it could be that. And like figuring out how can we kind of realign the body. Well, was that the word that you used? Realign the body back to like calibration or balance. And so I wanted to talk us through about one of the ways that we can recalibrate our body. I know we've gone everything off the script, right? But this is a conversation that we're having, a real-time conversation.
Just some fun.
Otherwise, we really be robotic and things. But what are some of the ways that we can recalibrate our body? Because one of our friends, Danielle, who's also a functional medicine doctor
Mhm.
and a homeopath, and she said that because everything in the body is connected.
Mhm.
So if you kind of like take care of one area, the rest are going to follow in terms of the trajectory or the chemical imbalances or balances. So talk us through one way that we can bring our body back to balance or recalibration.
Sure. I think that one of the most important things is what we eat and how we eat. The food that we take in is really what nourishes us and will heal us. Food is medicine. If we have the incorrect food, we have a high processed diet, we have high sugar intake, we have high grain intake, we have high, inappropriate fat intake, that is going to really create imbalance in the body. We want to make sure we get that dietary issues corrected so they're eating the way they should be. And that really helps the body to start to heal. You're not going to heal the body if the digestion is incorrect at all, because that controls how the body works, because it's getting nutrients in for the body to be able to use. So one, diet, we got to work on diet. Two, I think the second one is movement. And whether that's simply walking, simply doing stretching exercises, doing yoga, doing Tai Chi, doing weight training, movement is essential. Movement is life. Food is medicine and movement is life. So we have to be able to move no matter what it is. Even if we're in a wheelchair or restricted that way, we can go for a walk with wheelchair. We can do an arm bike. We can do different things that way to get movement. Longevity in health and longevity in life is based on how much muscle mass we have as we age. The more muscle mass we have, the better we are for longevity and have that reserve in case something happens to us.
Okay, brilliant. So for those of you who are watching and tuning in, you want to write down one part of your health plan is number one, what you eat, right? So what you eat, kind of like what Jerry was saying, like eliminate processed food, sugary, anything that can cause unnecessary inflammation, refined oils, or I'm probably adding things up, but I think
You're saying everything there. It's just, if it comes in a box bag or a can or made by man, don't touch it.
Yeah, so basically like eating as close to nature or how it looks from nature as close as possible. And then the second thing is create movement, walking, tai chi, squatting, some kind of movement in there. Now the question comes in, Jerry, is that okay, you can eat this plate of protein and vegetables and legumes and probiotic kimchi and all those things, but what happens when it hit your digestion and your digestion just like not up to it? So basically what I'm trying to say is that you can have all this great food, but if your digestion is crappy, like it's not gonna make it, it's not gonna benefit you.
Yeah. And that's that next step with people is working the diet, working exercise, and then going, what is going on with their digestion? Do they need digestive enzymes? Do they have a dysbiotic or microbial changes within the GI tract that has to be corrected? Is there permeability issues? Is the gut leaky? A very simple way to look at it is those cells pulling apart and proteins getting in and causing inflammation in the body. What is going on with that digestion to figure that out? To then be able to go like, okay, now let's correct this. Because again, good food, good exercise, having a good digestive system is going to allow the body to heal and things to come in balance. If that's off, everything else is going to be so much overlay that it happens that hormones are going to be off, your nervous system's going to be off, your breathing's going to be off, your skin's going to be off. All those processes are going to have issues because that digestion is off through there.
Right. So like you can start with, having a good meal, which is kind of like one of the easiest way to do it. Yes, for some of the viewers today, it's a change of lifestyle, but at least, simple things like having a salad or something in the morning with protein that's going to help, because you're going to be eating 5 portions of salad anyhow, might as well eat everything in one go, or at least, spread it out, when you're having it, and then having the movement. And then, okay, if those two things are still not helping, then the digestion, something is like needs to be looked into, because like you said, if you don't have a good, healthy digestion, then everything else starts to spring up. Your hormone, your stress, depression, maybe like anxiety, or all those things coming up. So let me ask you this, Jerry. Do you have a story from a client? You don't have to tell their name, but a story from a client that came into you, experienced a certain health issues, but take us through the steps that they were able to gain health prosperity, health vitality back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gosh, I can bring so many, and it's like, who do I pick here? Let's talk about Kate. Kate's 54 years old, and she came into us with menopausal type symptoms, so hot flashes, fatigue, brain fog, weight gain, anger issues, anxiety. So she came in kind of the classical stuff that women through those menopausal years, perimenopausal years will feel. She had some digestive issues from her labs. Her glucose was elevated. So she was having pre-diabetes state. She was having cholesterol issues too. Her cholesterol was elevated through there. So she had kind of the classical American stuff going on for ladies and men in their midlife. So she came in and we walked through. We did extensive with talking with her. We said, okay, we're going to work on your diet, work on her diet first. Took her through an elimination, taking things out of the diet that cause problems for people. Dairies, grains, sugars, potatoes, corn, a few other things, alcohol within there. Took her through a slow process for that, detoxifying her, also giving her the nutrients that her liver can actually clean the body out, and she can expel those things, those toxins from the body. Did that. Then started working, did our good extensive blood work. So when blood work that we look at over 100 markers with somebody versus the basic 18. So we did that. We looked at how she metabolizes her hormones. We look at how her body's actually working, looking at an organic acids test to go, how's her mitochondria working? Is she producing energy or not? How inflamed is her nervous system? How inflamed is that GI tract? So if she had leaky gut, her nervous system was inflamed, and her cells were just inflamed too. Her mitochondria weren't working, and she couldn't detox. Her system couldn't detox very well. Took her through a 6-month program. Within the first 3 months, she had dropped 25 pounds. Her glucose completely went back to normal. Her cholesterol dropped by 50 points. Her hormones were back in balance. She was loving life again. She lost the brain fog. She lost the moodiness. And as she said to her clients, she said to us, she said, I'm no longer a moody bee to my husband anymore because I feel good again, and her energy's back and her brain fog's gone. So that's a classic scenario of what we see. If a person has all these things going on, if you're in medicine, you're going to be seeing the cardiologist, you're going to be seeing the endocrinologist, you're going to be seeing your primary care, you might be seeing the obesity doctor. So she had been seeing 6 or 7 different doctors and getting nowhere because they're just medifying her up. Just taking her through that, getting her body back in alignment through acupuncture, through the nutrition, through supplementation, healing it. She was able to elevate her life and get back to living and having a good time with her husband again.
Yeah, that's so exciting. I'm so happy for Kate, having that vitality, that fun, that, living the life kind of thing. And you have a spot on in the saying that through the modern medical system, they segregate things, endocrinologists, this kind of person, this kind of specialty, and none of them are talking to one another. They are segregated things, and they're not talking to one another, so they only see a certain section, whereas the body is a whole. One thing affects the other, so that's why the problem not only persists but prolongs, and at some point getting worse. I mean, even my own experience with my endocrinologist, like, this is what's happening, and these are the treatments: surgery or medication. I'm like, what, dude? I've never taken medication in my life. I'm allergic to some of the things. I can't even take Tylenol because I'm allergic to it. So and he's like, if you go for surgery, you're gonna be on medication for the rest of your life. I'm like, dude, why? Why? But tell me why this is happening, like physiologically, why this is happening in my body. He can't answer that.
Yep. No, they're training, and we have, in the U.S., we have the best emergency life-saving care there is. Like if you need life-saving, that's where you need to go.
100%.
But as far as really defining health and really defining what wellness is, it doesn't do it. It's failed completely. And we see that. We have the highest chronic illnesses there are, chronic death from chronic illnesses. It's the highest. We rank 30 out of 40 of developed nations in health outcomes because it doesn't design that. It's designed to save your life, and that's it. So and that's what they know, drugs and surgery. They have maybe 3 hours of education in nutrition in school, and that's it. I remember I share this story often when I do talks and things, just to show that difference of what really understanding the body is and how it works and nutritionally. I was at a conference for IFM years ago. Mark Hyman was up talking, and he was a great presenter and talking, and it was about 90+% medical providers, MDs, DOs, nurse practitioners, nurses, just medical based. And about 10% of us, I call us the weirdos, the ones who really want to help the body heal, the naturopaths, the acupuncturists, the chiropractors, the functional medicine nutritionists, like us weirdos who get it. And he's talking and he goes, how many of you remember from med school that you had to worry about vitamin A toxicity from your clients eating too much polar bear liver? 90% of the
polar bear. Did you say polar bear?
Polar bear liver.
90%. Like the bear, the white bear that lives on North Pole?
Yes. 90% of the room raised their hand. The 10% of us looked at each other and went, what? Like, why would I be worried about my client eating polar bear liver and getting vitamin A toxicity from it, unless I live in northern Canada or Siberia, where where there's going to be polar bears? And he said, and we were just dumbfounded. And he was like, but that's what's taught, to fear nutrition, to fear vitamin therapies, to fear those things, and to rely on medications and surgery as the answer. Because it is just like you were like, that pause of like registering, did he just say polar bear liver? Exactly. And that's the training. So yeah, they're not trained or understanding really how the body functions. They're great at pathology and disease, but really to understand health and wellness and aligning their body to elevate their life, they don't have the training in it whatsoever.
So Jerry, I want you to talk about this concept that you told me earlier, that people got to start taking responsibility for their health, because our healthcare system is changing drastically. Some of people can't even afford health insurance now because the premium going on so high. You're not even getting the care that you need, let alone the appointment that you have. And I want you to talk about taking responsibility for your own health, because I remember, Jerry, before moving here, we lived in England. So from the period of 0 to 4 years old, my eldest son, Oprah, I think in his 4 years, probably had 4 or 5 immunization shots. Like in its total, 4 or 5. I'm not talking about one time he goes to the doctor. I'm talking about the 4 years cumulative. So in a way that I really, really appreciate that system, the NHS system in England, because it just kind of fosters a little bit more of natural immune system versus here. And I was gobsmacked, Jerry, because when I looked at the immunization record, especially here I am in California, at one point, my kid got to take 4 or 5 in one go. And where he had 4 in his entire 4 years. But, at least I'm with a practitioner who's like, you know what, you can spread it out. And, I had a mom at a mommy and me playtime. And her baby just looks so off. I'm like, what happened to him? It's like, oh, he just had his immunization shot. Like, how many did he have? 6. I'm like, what? Well, and this is like a 2-month-old, 3-month-old baby. I'm not talking about that. So let us talk us through about this concept that you mentioned. We got to take responsibility for our own health. What does it mean? How does it look like? And how can we take action from it?
Yeah. I mean, really recapping what I had said earlier is the key to really taking responsibility is it's your life, it's your body, it's your health. You know what you feel. And as physicians, we have to take what you feel when we talk to you and figure out why that's occurring. So journaling, understanding what's going on with you, exploring the emotions of what you're feeling is really key. So that way we can get into there and go, okay, where's it stemming from? So like we talked about, really understanding your body. 2, eating right. You got to eat right. I mean, food is medicine. Food is poison. What you're eating is doing that. Exercise, number 3. Those are key things to do that are the basis of health overall, and avoiding the junk in your system. That's before avoiding the junk that people are taking in every single day, the processed foods and those type things. You do those 4 things, your health is going to get better no matter what. I mean, I have that I usually take when I do talks. I have my great-great-grandfather's health book from 1893. 132 years old at this point in time. when you look at it, you think what they know in 1892 and 3, like, what did they know? They understood the body. They understood health. They didn't know microscopically as well as we can see now, like what channel were in cells and all these receptors and markers and all these things, but they understood really the key things. Eat right, get movement, get sunshine, get plenty of water, avoid processed foods. That's the key. Like, do those 5 things. And that is the key responsibilities to take for yourself. That way you can prevent having to see your provider, your doctor, and you can really work on doing the things that matter in life and get yourself healthy.
Absolutely. Those 5 things. So Jerry, can you repeat back those 5 things for them to take responsibility of their life?
Sure. Number 1, journaling your health. Journal what's going on with you, of how you're experiencing and what you're feeling. 2, eat right. Food is medicine. You have to be able to eat good foods there. Exercise. That was the other one through there. 4, gotta remember what 4 was.
Me neither. I can't remember. Maybe processed food, right?
Avoid processed foods and get plenty of water, air, and light. I mean, doing those things is really taking responsibility for yourself. You're responsible for it. You can take as many courses that you want from any doctor, any online thing, and everything else. They're going to say those things. So it's up to you to do it. If you need support, find good support. Find a good provider that has a good support system, has health coaches that can help you through there, has a good program for you. But any program worth its weight in gold or anything is going to tell you those 5 things, because that's what you have to do to take responsibility for yourself. I can give you, any of the provider you see can give you all the tools. And we talk to our clients that way. I have all the tools for you. It's going to take you doing it to get the discipline to do it every day, even when you don't want to do it, because we don't want to do the stuff every single day, but we got to do it. And the support, discipline and support. In order to get the discipline, you need the support to get there. So that's what's key to have, is have that support there to get you moving and keep you doing the things you're supposed to be doing.
Brilliant. Okay. So, what came up to my mind is that, like your great grandfather understand about health and wellness and physiology, even though, like you said, they didn't have all the markers. So I'm reminded of my grandma Mamin. So one of the things that Mamin tells us over and over again is like, I prefer home cooked meal versus going to the restaurant. She prefers home cooked meal. She prefers to cook at home. And she passed away just, I think 82, 83, but she was still cooking right towards the end of her life. Like, she loves fish and she loves the small fish. She doesn't like the big fish. And I ask her why. She's like, it's just the taste of things. So I don't know whether scientifically that is like a reasoning, but she likes the small fish and home cooking meal. And Mommy never had any medication in her life. She doesn't take any medication, and she moves around. She loves gardening, but she also reads the Quran, so that kind of fills in with spirituality. And she teaches people reading the Quran, so that kind of keep her busy, like mentally. She always has interaction. So, but you're onto something there, Jerry. Kind of like the modern convenience of having processed foods like cereal and all those stuff can be one of those things that isn't contributing to your health.
Right.
For that. So, like, for me, I grew up like, we didn't grow up with cereals. We had hot food on our breakfast. So the same thing with my kids, but also, like, it's hard not to buy them. I try my best not to buy them because I don't eat them. It's processed food. So before we go, one last thing, Jerry, what are some of the obvious processed food that people often get from the supermarket that they can easily avoid? So if you can name 3 to 5, that would be great, that they can be aware of, and maybe take it off from their shopping list when they next go to Costco.
Yeah, you nailed it. The first one, cereals. Bread, cereals, and pastas, those grains, the 3 things we get with every single meal, pulling those from the diet. So that's number 1, breads. Dairy, cut down on dairy or eliminate if you can, because it's not meant for us. 3, sugary items, anything that's got a ton of sugar in it. In order to make things palatable, if they make it low fat, they have to put sugar in it, or they put artificial sugars in it. Those are not good for us. So breads, dairies, sugars, and then really, really look at, if you're going to shop, you want to shop in the fruit and vegetable section, the meat section, and then the dried beans, that type of aisle, and rice is through there. Those are the aisles you want to shop. Everything else you just avoid because it's just processed junk food. If it comes, like I said earlier, if it comes in a box bag or a can or made by man, probably don't touch it because it has way too many ingredients in it. Like your grandma cooked, your mom cooked, you cooked, we cook too. At home, you have maybe 5 to 6 ingredients to put a meal together. Versus when you go out, who knows what's in there? What oils are they using that are pro-inflammatory to us? The seed oils that we don't need to be getting in the system that were used for lubricants for automobiles a long time ago. Now we ingest them. No, avoid that stuff. So, dairy, grains, and sugars, those are the huge things. And avoid the box bag or cans are made by man.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Gary, for the conversation, which just gives us so much value to us. So remember what Jerry said in your next shopping list, bread, grains, sugar, cereal, anything that comes out from a box, you probably want to see if you can eliminate it. I know sometimes it's hard to go cold turkey, but bread is the hardest thing, Jerry. Like bread and pasta is like the hardest things it's almost like ingrained in us, right? Bread and pasta.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love spaghetti and meatballs? Who doesn't love sandwiches? In fact, that's what I packed my kids for lunch, almost on a daily basis, because it's just the convenience of it, like sticky. So what's the alternative to bread and pasta before we end?
Sure. For pasta itself, you can switch up with like spaghetti squash itself. Okay. So spaghetti squash. There is some good alternative pastas that are not not wheat based. Mm-hmm. They can be pea protein, garbanzo protein, garbanzo bean, or pea based. So there's some good ones there that are there. Gluten free ones can be really good too. And then bread itself, that's a tricky one. Try to go with a gluten free bread if you can. You'll see a huge difference from there. That'll help you overall. Those are really the key things to transition to, and then be able to pull away eventually as you need to. But spaghetti squash is a great one, cooked perfectly. It's hard to tell the difference between that and spaghetti.
Okay, fantastic. Spaghetti squash it is. I shall endeavor to look for. I don't think I've ever come across spaghetti squash. Is it dried? Is it like a dried thing at the aisle, or is it like a fresh thing? Or you just
it's a fresh one. It's a fresh squash that you can purchase and then cut in half lengthwise, put a little oil on it, scoop out the seeds, put a little olive oil on it, and bake it in your oven. And when you use your fork to scrape out the insides, it turns into basically long strings, just like spaghetti.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, perfect. It's like zucchini noodle kind of thing.
Yeah, zoodles. You can kind of like zoodles, yeah.
Yeah, okay, perfect. All right, thank you so much, Sherry, for the enlightening, valuable, and informative conversation. So what is the best way if people want to have further conversations with you? What is the best way that they can reach out to you?
Sure. Best ways would be through social media at Facebook, Lakeside Holistic, or Instagram itself, Lakeside Holistic Health. Those are the best ways to do it. Or you can go to our website, lakesideholistic.com, and you'll on the bottom of the screen, of course, will be all the social medias to click there. But you can go there and see what we offer and see if we can help you.
Awesome. And like my kid likes to say, Mom, nobody uses Facebook anymore. That just shows our age, isn't it, Jerry? They kind of stir me towards TikTok. I'm like, oh my goodness, not another platform I have to learn and another platform I have to do, stuff on it. So for the wise people like us, Facebook on Lakeside Holistic, as well as Instagram on Lakeside Holistic, but also on the website, Lakeside Holistic. All right, Jerry, thank you so much for being us today. So let's fill in the blank with this final statement. Health prosperity comes when?
You take responsibility for your health and do the things you're supposed to do.
Okay, brilliant. That kind of summarized everything up. All right, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us and with me, Jerry, today on talking about your health, wellness, prosperity, and taking responsibility of your health, and kind of like what are the 5 things that you can do almost immediately to create that health stability in you and start to feel a better change in yourself. So thank you so much. And this is me, your host, Dr. Izdihar Jamil. It takes courage. And remember, courage happens when you're willing to do the things that you don't want to do and start to take responsibility for your health, for your finances, and also for your well-being. Take care. May peace be upon you. All right, Jerry, let's say goodbye to everybody.